salt demand is for iodization? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng salt demand is for iodization. How much? Out of the 600,000 metric tons, ilan ang kailangan iodized salt?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, wala po kaming data ng...
Paano ka nag-i-issue na import permit na hindi mo alam kung ilan ang demand for iodized salt?
As I said, sir, ma'am po,
Ano ba ang head mo?
ang head po ng FDA po, si Dr. Samuel Sakate po.
Sino?
Dr. Samuel Sakate.
Tawagan mo siya. Tanungin mo, ano ang basis ng importation of iodized salt? Ano ba ang demand for iodized salt? Para makita natin, out of 600,000, ilan ba talaga ang demand for iodized salt? Kasi dapat, nung sinulat ang batas, inilimit lang doon ang iodization, di ba? Oo, at pinabayaan sila na mag-produce sila ng raw salt kasi ginagamit sa ibang bagay, hindi naman lahat for food. Oo, ilan dito ang for iodized salt?
Madam Senator,
Yes.
permission to speak.
Okay.
The out of the 683,000 tons, about 540,000 tons will be for salt for human consumption. This will go to the household and the food processing industry. So that's about 78% will be for human consumption. So yun pong i-iodize po ang kailangan.
Sabi sa study, it's 36%.
For human consumption.
Kasi I think, Iho, you're biased because you are a trader and an importer.
I'm not a
you
trader,
cannot
ma'am.
make an unbiased point of view. Because based on study, it's
We are
36%. For other uses, it's 63%. Ito yung study. And I'm so
Yeah.
surprised that you are issuing import permit. You don't know this. You should know this. Because what is your basis for issuing import permit for iodized salt? Oh, it says here 1/3 is for human consumption and 2/3 for other uses. But when you made the law, you make it all iodization. Who advised them to do that? Kasi usually, pag gumagawa ng law, may nag-a-advise na government agency na kung ano ang gagawin. Ito, nagulat kami na lahat pina-iodize. Kasi kaya yung mga small farmer na hindi naman marunong mag-iodize, ni-require nyo lahat mag-iodize, pumara na sila sa pag-produce ng salt kasi hindi nila alam yung iodization. You have to understand our small farmers. They are not as intelligent, as well-educated as you are. And then, sana kung ni-require yun, tinulungan sila to do iodization. Wala naman tumulong. Ngayon, may walang uma-admit kung sino ang in charge ng salt industry. Hanggang ngayon, hindi natin. Sino ba in charge ng salt industry? Is it DA? Is it BIFAR? Is it DNR? Is it the Department of Health? Sino ba in charge? Wala na ngayong uma-admit kung sino in charge. So you let the whole industry deteriorate by agreeing to that asin law na sabi nga dito sa study, 1/3 lang ang dapat iodized for human consumption. 2/3 is for other uses. Bakit ni-require lahat? Anyway, sino ba ang may idea na gusto magsalita after this? Nasaan yung DNR? Where is the DNR? Oh, can you make an opinion on this, on what happened here? You are the land management
Yes.
division chief of the land management division of DNR, and you are the one giving them places to do salt making.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the role of the Land Management Bureau under the DNR. Our mandate is to lease out foreshore areas. These are lands adjacent to AND lands or those lands that were titled.
During the 1970s, when we produced a lot of salt, you assigned areas to be used for salt making. Di ba? Kayo ang may power eh. Oh. And now, we are just producing 42,000. Is there a difference between the land during that time and the land now allocated for salt making?
I don't believe there is a difference. But let me clarify the role of the Bureau of Lands then. Actually, we accept applications. Sa foreshore po kasi, we give preferential rights to apply to those landowners because these are A&D lands, are titled lands. So these landowners,
Where they produce the salt is not titled, are not
yes,
titled
there
lands.
are
They are,
cases.
we're talking of the shoreline, di ba? Oh, bakit
Yes,
ngayon
ma'am.
ganyan na salita nyo?
Yung pong shoreline, they are not supposed to be titled. But
Oh,
the adjacent to the shoreline, the foreshore line, are
so
A
you
and D
cannot use
lands.
the shoreline
They
if
can use,
the
ma'am.
shoreline.
Yes.
If
They have to lease it
oh
out.
yeah. So hindi lahat titled land.
No, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, for title owners, for landowners adjacent to this foreshore, we have to consult them. Because under the Public Land Act, they have the preferential right to apply for a foreshore lease
So if
agreement.
they don't want to apply,
Yes, ma'am.
then you can give it to
Yes.
another person. It's
And
just what you call that first option for them because they are near the shore. Yeah, but if they don't want, then you can give it to others.
It can be open to others, but that others should have consulted and get a waiver from the landowner adjacent to that foreshore.
So I'm just asking you, is there a difference with the land allocated during that time and during this time? Because our production decreased by from 240,000 metric tons to 42,000 metric tons. So, lumiit ba yung lupang pinagagawa ng salt o hindi?
Unfortunately, ma'am, I couldn't make a categorical response.
Why?
Because up to now, we do not have a land use act, which
No,
would
it's
have
not the land use
come
act.
up
You
with a
give permit to
policy.
use it. It's not
Uh,
the land use act. My
mer-
God, how you answer me. I'm so surprised. That's why I don't want to do this hearing anymore sometimes. Because when you answer me, I'm so surprised on how you answer me. But may blame ang land use act. Sinabi mo nang ikaw ang nagbibigay ng permit for them to use them as salt beds.
I
Tapos
clarify.
ituturo mo na naman yung Land Use Act. Alam mo, yung Land Use Act, sasabihin ko sa'yo, baka pinariringgan mo. Kaya hindi ko pinapasa yun. Yung Land Use Act is in the power of the local government to determine their land use. They want to transfer it to the national government. So it's a conflict between the local government and the national government. And I don't want to be in the middle of the conflict. Oh, kasi pag tinanggal mo yan sa local government, magagalit sa yung local government. Pag dinala mo yan sa national government. Hindi naman walang in charge ng land use ngayon eh. Every local government is required to deal their own land use plan. And they give permit on how they will use the land. And we were talking about it during the last administration. And the Department of Finance said, bakit natin kukunin sa local? Mas alam ba natin kung ano dapat gawin ng mga taga-probinsya sa lupa nila? Kasi mas magaling pa tayo doon, may hindi naman tayo nakakarating doon. Oh, yun ang conflict ng land use plan eh. Oh, that it's the power is given to the local government. Are we going to get it from the local government and give it to a national agency? That's what I'm asking. Do you think the national agency will be better in implementing the land use plan than the local government? That's my question. Because I don't agree that the national government will be better than the local government. I I want to give that option to the local government. Yun lang naman ang conflict eh. Tapos sasabihin mo sa akin, humihingi lang ng permit sa'yo to use yung shore, foreshore as salt bed. Sasabihin mo sa akin, dahil walang land use plan, nagbibigay kayo ng permit na eh. How come merong salt production? Kung hindi kayo nagbigay ng permit, di dapat ikaw, as a land management division, inaralan mo bago ka pumunta dito, ilan ang binigyan yung hectare na permit for salt making, di ba? And then sabihin mo sa akin ngayon, kasi hindi naman ako ang nagbibigay ng permit, kayo eh. But sasabihin mo sa akin, i-blame mo yung land use plan. The power is with you. Nandito. Bakit ganyan ang sagot mo sa akin?
Sorry, Your Honor. I think I made wrong
Here, dapat
answer because I
binigay niyong lupa for salt making because the topic is salt making. Gusto ko lang malaman kung mas konti ang lupa ngayon for salt making than in 1970s when we produce more salt. I just want to know, para paggawa namin ng batas, alam namin what's the reason for the deteriorating salt production. Is it that there are less land for salt making, or is it that the farmer doesn't understand, the farmers do not understand the iodization process? That's why they don't want to produce salt anymore because it's illegal if they don't iodize their salt. Tingin ko combination of many things kaya nag-deteriorate. Tapos, ito namang law na to, inassume na lahat ng salt is kailangan iodized salt when based on study, it should only be 30%. One-third of the consumption. Bakit nyo ipa-iodize lahat ng salt? One-third lang ang kailangan. Di sana pinroject nyo kung ilan ang kailangan, tapos nilagay nyo sa batas that 30% of the demand should be iodized. So, hindi lahat ng salt farmer tumigil dahil they don't know how to iodize. Diba? Can you give me a report on how many hectares have you given right for them to use them as salt farms?
yes, ma'am. If you would allow us, we will provide you the report. How many hectares were used as a salt farm area?
In the 1970s and now. Kasi that was 50 years ago. And then, mas maganda sana before 1998 when we passed this law kung nagbago yung farms na nagpo-produce ng salt, di ba? We'll see. Kasi nung i-trace mo yung production from 1970s to 2023, tapos i-relate natin sa area ng salt farms nung para malaman natin kung ang reason is nawala yung binigyan nyo ng permit or talagang hindi lang sila marunong ng iodization kaya nag-stop sila kasi yun ang theory eh. Ni-require nyo ang mga salt farmers to do iodization and you did not help them to be able to do iodization kasi don't ever think that when you require something the farmers can do it. That's mechanization already eh. That's not anymore farming. So that you have to teach the farmers. They cannot do it automatically. Okay? Yes, Senator Binay.
Madam Chair, pwede kong additional submission lang ho. Pakisubmit sa committee, ano ba yung proseso para makahingi ng permit itong mga salt farmers natin para magamit yung lupa for salt production. And part din ho ng submission nila na kung pwede pakigawan ng mapping, siguro from 1970s, yung kung saan areas may salt production. Nabigyan ng permit for salt production. Thank you po.
There is a person online ano ba to? Corporate Secretary ng ano?
Salt Industry Board ng Pangasinan.
Okay. There is a person online who is the corporate secretary of the Salt Industry Board of Pangasinan, which is one of the biggest producer of salt. The name is Miss Evelyn Breguera. And we want to get his opinion why they don't want to produce salt anymore. So that we will have an idea what goes in the mind of the salt producer. We recognize Miss Evelyn online.
Good morning po, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the President po of Salt Industry Board of Pangasinan, I think the reason behind of low production of salt dito na ho sa Pangasinan, particularly sa Dasol, is uh, the link of the buyers. So kulang kami ng market. At the same time, I think we need to strengthen the production force in order to motivate them to continue the production of salt. And also yung concerning the iodized salt na sobrang dami na ho importation, so that probably affect the production of local salt. Thank you.
Can you explain to us the lack of market? We are importing 97% of our salt. Ano, do we have a lack of market if we are importing 93% of our salt demand? Miss Evelyn?
Yes, Madam Chair. I apologize stand to speak for the market. But we will provide you a formal response with the board of salt
Think
industry.
that they stop production because they do not know what is iodization is? Can they iodize their salt, the salt makers of Pangasinan?
There was a time that F.D.A. approached us for this iodization, Madam Chair, but unfortunately, we do not have yet on the ground the things, the proper procedures on pricing of iodization.
SDA dapat ang nagtuturo.
Okay. So I would think that there is a demand, except your salt farmers do not know how to iodize, and they required every salt production to be iodized. I think that is a better manifestation, di ba? There is a demand, but our salt farmers do not know how to iodize, so they stop production. Do you agree with me?
I agree with you, Madam Chair, and
Okay.
that's why I mentioned earlier that needs to be we need to strengthen the policies and procedures that requires the production of iodized salt.
Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair, hindi ba pwede yung sinusupply nung mga taga Pangasinan ibigay ho sa Philippine Coconut Authority as fertilizer?
Hindi nga, hindi nila hinanap ang Philippine Coconut Authority. Tapos yung Philippine Coconut Authority, hindi naman siya nag-ikot at sinabi na you can produce salt kasi it became illegal to produce non-iodized salt, di ba? Because of the law. Oh, and they didn't know that the coconut can use ordinary salt as fertilizer, 'di ba? There is lack of knowledge. Sana at tapos hindi natin dapat pinasa yung iodization of all the salt production because only 30%, one-third is for food and two-thirds are for other use. Like for example,